Hey everybody, David Skrika, stock chart of the day for the Saturday 23rd. So today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So there's a couple things I want to talk about here quickly though. So my new book is coming out January 7th. I actually did the final edit of the first three chapters this week. I think there's about eight chapters in it, so I'm about third done. Actually, more than probably half done because chapter three is kind of the longest chapter in the book, and I would say it's almost a quarter of the book, that one chapter. So I'm probably half done. This thing has been just 5 years in the making. I started writing in 2019, then COVID happened, and then the bubble of 2021 happened, and then the Russia war and the bear market happened, and interest rates and inflation and interest rates happened. So things kept changing, and then so I kept doing it over and over again. And then of course, this is published through the HumanX, which is the publishing arm of Newsmax. So of course, Newsmax, they're a political website, etc. Um, they're a political site, etc. Uh, and the election was a big thing for them. So I told the guys just publish it after the election because you guys are going to be focused on the election. I've talked about Newsmax is doing an IPO. The IPO should be about the same time as the book. I was like, folks, focus on the election, focus on your IPO, and then we'll do this. So what I'm going to do though is because this book is the themed of all these things. Like it says addictedtoprofits.com there, but that's going to change to profit from pessimism.com. So I'm changing addictedtoprofits.net into profitfrompessimism.com, and I'm changing the Patreon to profit from stock chart of the day to profit from pessimism, and I'm gonna have a profit from pessimism Substack at some point. The problem with the Substack is I can't use that here in the Bahamas, so you can't link to a bank account with Substack in the Bahamas, so I have to basically set up an LLC, probably in Puerto Rico or the States, and then do it that way. And I really want to use Substack because the reason I don't want to go back to ClickBank, if all of you remember that I used to use ClickBank for my billing, is then I have to be in charge of everything, give you your refunds, deal with credit card issues. And I do not want to do that crap again. So I'll probably just do a Substack, and the Substack will be that, so um going forward. So that's just what I wanted to show you this going forward or and the whatnot, right? So um this is what I'm looking at here. This is what I'm doing. And then we're going to switch everything. And what I like about this new book and the theme and the name is that, I called Addicted to Profits because I was a huge Robert Palmer fan. I actually did it before, I moved to the Bahamas. It was 1998. And then it ended up being this weird coincidence where Robert Palmer did Addicted to Love he recorded it in the Bahamas. And he lived in the Bahamas for about 14, 15 years. And then, I'm a big fan of John Templeton, who's kind of my mentor, I guess you could say. And Templeton lived in the Bahamas, for 40 years before he passed away in 2008. And of course, this maximum pessimism comes from him. So it's cool that I still have that Bahamas theme as well. So I just wanted to tell you that. Yeah, so everything will be profit from pessimism. And I like the fact that I still have profit in the name too. I bought another website called maxpassinvest.com, which is kind of cool, like it flows nice. But I like having that profit in there. I like having a positive tone to it, because like being in the gold sector and precious metal sector for a long time, we kind of get the reputation of being doom and gloomers. I've written a couple books about bear markets and the whatnot, so I want to keep that positive tone. So of course, the talk of the day. Now let's go into Bitcoin. Now, another thing with stock chart of the day. So that will just be a subsection of profit from pessimism. We'll still be around. This won't change it. It'll just be like I'm even going to change this thing here, my stock chart of the day, to David Skarika, right? So yeah. So that's essentially what it's going to be going forward. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't want to like I want to like so that's going to happen. But what I want to say is give me ideas of what you would like to see. I like talking about individual companies a lot, but I notice they're kind of my lowest clicked videos. So I know a lot of people want to hear about gold and silver because I'm known as a gold and silver guy. I did that thing on India. I'm gonna follow that up this week, by the way, because India Fund just did a very nice distribution. There was something somebody wrote. I actually erased it underneath it because I didn't agree with what they said, and I'll explain that in that video on India. Maybe I'll actually put that out on Sunday because this one's coming out on Monday. I don't think I'm going to do one this Sunday because, to be honest, um, I like to do one on the weekends, and that's it. So, but I think I'm going to keep going through the holidays. I think I'll give you a Thanksgiving and Black Friday update. So, Anyhow, so to get back to this, so Bitcoin's going up. So give me your ideas, what you would like to see, what you'd like to see me talk about, individual companies, markets, etc. I know my macro markets, but I can't talk about macro markets every single time. I got stock chart of the day for a reason, right? So today we're not looking at a stock, we're looking at Bitcoin. So what I want to show you with Bitcoin is, look, I'm not an anti-coiner. I'm not any of these things. Um, I believe that Bitcoin definitely has a place, like a small place in someone's portfolio. It's still very volatile. And you can see the blow off here in 2017 and then 2020 and then here in 2024. This is trading a little more like the 2017 thing. But what I want to show you is this. We've had like basically two major declines in the markets. 2020 was very short term, but two bear markets in the markets in the last, say, roughly 10 years. And they were 2018 when the S&P fell about 30% and the NASDAQ close to 35%. So that was one. Then there was 2021, sorry, 2022, where the S&P fell again about 30. Oh, sorry, in 2018, 20% on the S&P, about 25% on the NASDAQ. And then 2022, which was about 30% on the S&P and close to 35% on the NASDAQ. And you can see each time Bitcoin got killed. Like now, over the long run, Bitcoin's gone up. But notice that in these up markets, this is the NASDAQ 100 up here, 23, 24, 2020 to the end of 2021, Bitcoin rallies. In these down markets, 2018, 2022, it falls. It's a risk on asset, in my opinion. Bitcoin is not a hedge against the dollar. It's not a hedge against inflation. It's if you're bullish on the NASDAQ, you will do well. You can see in the last 7 years since 2017, the Bitcoin's up 1,000%, where the NASDAQ 100 is up 220%. It's up 5 times as much. So it's a great risk on asset. And we'll show you this in shorter uh, terms quickly. I'm going to show you the bear market of 2018. Now they did not, peak at the exact same time. Because Bitcoin kind of this is going back to December, January. That's when Bitcoin peaked, and you see the Nasdaq did actually go to a slightly higher high. But like Bitcoin, you can see fell 72%. Nasdaq was down 2% from top to bottom. Again, it was more like 25% on the Nasdaq. So again, the Nasdaq fell about 25%. Bitcoin ends up falling, 70 to 80% from, and actually it was closer to 80% because the high was actually closer to 20,000 back in December. This doesn't go back to the high. So again, they down year for both, with the Bitcoin going down more than the Nasdaq. So then let's go look at 2022. And in 2022, you can see the same thing. The NASDAQ 100 goes down 32% and Bitcoin goes down 66%. Again, higher leverage to the downside. Now let's go look at 2023 to the present, just to see it in a bull market, or sorry, 2023 to, I'm just going to do it to, we'll just take that off because we're doing the present. And we'll go to the end of 2022, sorry, when the market bottomed. And what we can see is, again, the NASDAQ is up 53% and from the end of 2022, and Bitcoin is up 151%. So again, it's more like risk on than anything else. 1 second. That's not doing today. What's it doing here? I'm just gonna hit enter again. Because that's only 42,000. I don't know it didn't move. Okay, now we're gonna do it. Sorry. Yeah, Bitcoin is up 362%. The Nasdaq is up 80% since the end of 2022 during the bottom of the market. So again, these all show that Bitcoin is just higher beta asset class. If you're bullish tech, bullish the market, Bitcoin is a great way to play it. But when you're bearish, it's a very poor way to play it. Now, I still believe that even with the talk of Doge and government spending cuts, we're going to see some kind of big time inflation. That's kind of the only way you can get rid of a lot of this debt is through inflating it away. And when we see whatever the next bear market recession happen and those debt to GDP numbers still blow out, they're going to have to print money. And I think that's when you can see all assets go up. If you look at Argentina, Turkey, Venezuela, any country that have these big time inflations, and I'm not saying we're going to have that kind of hyperinflation, but I think we're going to have much higher inflation, is all assets go up. Stocks go up, houses go up, gold and silver go up, Bitcoin goes up. So yeah, you will see that. But I think we're going to see a big bust before then. So I just wanted to show you this. That's today. I know everyone's bullish on Bitcoin. Here, this coin market cap, it actually has a sentiment. You can see we're extreme greed right now. Everyone's waiting for this 100,000 to get broken. I'm any potential shorting I will do. I tried to short Bitcoin around 60, 65. I actually think I made a couple percent on the trade and then it just got out, because it just didn't look like it was going to happen back then. And then, when the Fed started cutting rates and stuff, I didn't want to be really short Bitcoin going into that. So, you can see that. You can see this consolidation here. And then, boom. But I do, we could still move up a little higher here. But I do think that if I'm right over the next year or so, we start some kind of bear market in equities, Bitcoin is going to fall a lot more. And I think actually the hedge will become gold at that point. The one issue that gold's having right now, even though it's bounced quite nicely, is that you have all these other asset prices, equities, AI stocks, Bitcoin, whatever going higher. So it's tough for gold and silver to compete, especially the equities and track capital. So I think that if we get into a 2001 scenario where equities go down and gold stocks go higher, that will really help. So I'm going to leave it at this. So again, today we were talking about the change in name of the service. This will be the last time it changes. I apologize. I've been kind of throwing this around for a couple of years now, really since 2023 or beginning of 2023. And if you want to know the quick stories, at the end of 2022, I was shorting a lot that year, and one of my shorts went against me. Home Capital Group had that announcement that they were getting taken over, and it was just a put position. I lost a few $1,000s, but I was really stressed out. I had blue bags under my eyes. My doctor told me if I didn't stop this, I was waking up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning every day, looking at stock futures, trading options. I was going to have a stroke, and at that point, I was only 45 years old. And I said I was going to do these promotional videos. I didn't do them because I was so stressed out, and I just refunded people their money. And so I kind of starting in 2023, I was like, I have to do something else. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do a written letter, And then finally, in about the middle of 2023, we started doing stock chart of the day. And now this is going to be, a part of the Profit from Pessimism service. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we do get some kind of bear market in equity so we can really put the pessimism philosophy to use. And I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it was a little longer than usual, but I don't think I'm going to do one Sunday. And it gives you something to watch.